So in a previous video, I talked about hooks in Claude Code and how you can make a hook basically read something when your prompting or your agent is done running. And the approach that I took was the hook calls a script called play.sh. And what this script did was it would just reach out to OpenAI and generate some random dumb message. And then I passed that to 11 Labs to read it out to me, which may not seem that useful, but when you have a bunch of different Claude agents running at the same time, it's nice to be notified when one finishes. But I wanted to take that one step further by basically reading the original prompt the user made, and then I pass that to OpenAI to summarize it into a single 3 to 4 word sentence. And then I pass that to 11 Labs so I can read out which feature or what task was being worked on and got finished. So to demo that out, I'm going to make two things here. I'm going to make one that's called a header, and then I'll make one down at the bottom called footer. And in the footer one, I'll say update the footer to display a placeholder address. And then over here, I'm going to say update the header logo name or app name to say YOLO. So let's just go ahead and turn up my volume. And then I'm going to kick both of these off at the same time.
An agent finished their work on header app name update.
Okay, so the header app name update
An
finished.
agent finished their work on footer placeholder address update.
And now the footer finished. Okay, so typically when I'm coding with Claude Code, I'll have like 6 of these terminals open, and I'll be working on different pages and different features at the same time. And some of them will be finished, and I won't even know about it. So now I have a really useful hook that really tells me, like, not only did a job finish, but I can actually go back and start prompting the one that finished to do more work. Now, I do want to share the code just a little bit so you guys have an understanding of how this works. So when this hook finishes running, inside of the hooks property here inside your settings for Claude, I have a stop hook. And it basically calls a command called Jarvis play. In fact, instead of Jarvis, I might rename this to Hans because I like that German accent guy telling me when my stuff is done. I don't know why. But yeah, so this is going to call the play script. And what this does is it loads in some environment variables. I have an 11 Labs key here, and I have an OpenAI key. And I also have a voice ID. So in 11 Labs, which I actually just went and bought a subscription for $5 a month because that's how useful I think this hook is. You can go in here and you can find different voices. And then you can basically add them to your voice collection. And once you do that, you get a voice ID that you can copy, which you can copy into the labs file so that later on when it reads, it'll be in the right voice that you want. Okay, so the main takeaway of this script that I want to talk about is if you're making a custom hook in Claude Code, you can read the standard in like this. So basically just do a cat. Now they pass you a string of JSON. And so you kind of need to have JQ installed so you can kind of parse through that. Or maybe if you have like the script written in Node or Python, it might be a little bit easier. I like using Bash for some reason. In that JSON, they have something called a transcript path. And this is the actual full path to where that transcript is on your computer. So it's like a text file, and it has literally every single prompt that you gave the AI, the outputs the AI gave you. It's a huge list. And for every single new agent you have, it's a different transcript path. It's also worth noting that this is a JSON-L object, which is basically like a giant text file that has a bunch of line-by-line arrays in it, or objects in it. And so you can kind of use JQ to loop over it and grab what you need. Now, the way the transcript path works is that the most recent message will be at the end. So it's very similar to like a log file. Like if you ever needed to tail a log, you just need to go and find the very last message that has a type of user, that has a message role of user, and then both of these things are strings, and then finally you want to find the last one. So again, it's like a giant list of things. You want to go up from the bottom and find the last user prompt. And then once you get that, you can actually grab the message content, which will be the original message that I typed in here, right? So if I typed in just update the footer to display a placeholder address, I can then get that. And then I take that prompt and then I pass it to OpenAI. I say, hey, please summarize the user prompt into a single feature name or short 3 to 5 words. And then once I get that, I take the OpenAI response, I parse it a little bit, and then I pass that to 11 Labs using my voice ID that we talked about, and then also my API key. And that's going to generate an MP3 file that I can then save on my computer and play it. So overall, I mean, you could basically ask GPT-5 to generate this same script for you if you want to. But I think this is a super, super useful script. So if you want to try playing around with this script, all you have to do is go to agenticjumpstart.com and join the waitlist, and I'll automatically email you a URL to the Git repo that has this code. Again, use at your own risk. It's always dangerous to run these type of hooks in scripts on your computer. Make sure you read through the code and make sure everything's fine. I have reviewed it for security issues and it seems like it's all good. But again, use hooks and commands and agents at your own risk because sometimes they will just invoke system commands. So you need to be careful with that. But yeah, go join the waitlist and I will automatically send you out an email where you can go and check out this repo. Have a good day and happy coding.